Near mint condition, the home of collected editions.
That cover's so awesome. That, as they say, is that. Marvel Comics. Let's go ahead and get started. Happy Monday, all you mentees. Today we're going to be taking an advanced look at a omnibus from a galaxy far, far away. And not too long ago. Anyway, you know where I'm getting at. Today we're looking at Star Wars Dr. Aphra, Friends and Enemies Omnibus from Marvel Comics. So join me. And welcome back, everybody. Before going any further, a big thank you to David Gabriel and the fine folks of Marvel for sending us an advanced copy of this omnibus. This omnibus is due out in the direct market and book market on December 2nd or 3rd, depending on where you get your books. What we are looking at here is the direct market cover. This is the one that is supplied by Betsy Cola. On the left-hand side is your standard edition cover. That one supplied by Jung. And that one is available everywhere, while the direct market cover is only available at places like cheapgraphicnovels.com, waltzcomicshop.com, bdcosmos.com, comicsbugle.com, readcomics.com, forbiddenplanet.com, panelboundcomics.com, In-Stock Trades, Tales of Wonder, DCBS, and of course, your local comic book store. Everything underneath the dust jacket is the same, so let's shift the focus back to this. This actually comes from, I want to say, issue number 40 of the series. You have Wong, Jung, Ireland, and Perez, Dr. Aphra, Friends and Enemies, which is exactly what you get here, a Friends and Enemies story. Marvel Omnibus, Star Wars, Dr. Aphra, Friends and Enemies, and again, Wong, Jung, Ireland, and Perez, and then Sanas down there. And then this, I always love that image. That comes from the Dark Droids storyline, The Battle for Aphra. So that gives you a little bit as to what the story is about, and ISBN, Marvel, Disney, Lucasfilm logos. Retail price of this one, $75. This is technically the third Dr. Aphra omnibus. As a matter of fact, it's not technically. It is the third omnibus, and it could be a volume 3. So here's what it will end up looking like on your bookshelf with volumes 1, 2, and the third one, Friends and Enemies. So let's go ahead and take the dust jacket off so we can see the images on the board there, or the art on board. Breakout stars of Marvel Comics Star Wars, and bios on the creators over here on the right hand side. And we have this art on the front board there, Dr. Aphra. They've been doing this since volume 1, that it's white instead of the black. And then I really like that retro image right there, even down to the colors. Okay, we are going to open this book up and talk about the type of stories found in here and look at this artwork, and again, look at the extras and build. Okay, let's go ahead and get this book opened. You have your end sheets there. And Dr. Aphra, Friends and Enemies, a Star Wars story. Over here is the credits. So you have Alyssa Wong writing a majority of this, but there is a miniseries that is collected by Justina, Ireland. You also have Minkyu Jung doing a lot of the artwork through here with David Baldeón, and also Pere Perez doing some of the art. And then you have the letters like Joe Carabagna and Travis Lanham. And then, of course, your colorist like Rochelle Rosenberg, who I think does a lot of the stories in here, and J. David Ramos. This really doesn't give you a previously on Dr. Aphra. So I'm going to go ahead and just say what is collected in here. Collected in here is Star Wars Dr. Aphra 26 through 40, and that is the series that began in 2020. Star Wars Santa Starros 1 through 5, and then material from the Star Wars Revelation number 1. The book has a total of 472 pages and retails for $75. Now, going into this, spoilers, because I have to talk about what happened previously and some of the things going on in the broader Star Wars universe. By the way, this has been, of course, collected before in a series of trade paperbacks, although this does have the Star Wars Revelations issue number 1. Now, previously, Dr. Aphra had gotten infested, if you will, like by this thing called the Spark Eternal. And that's been going on since the previous volume. So this is her dealing with the struggles of the Spark Eternal that is living within her. She is continuing to battle the spark for her body. As a matter of fact, the first 5 issues in here are all about her inside of her own head, trying to learn how to control her body. She ends up finding out about the Ascendants, which to me, it always feels like a little bit of the Sith, but she finds Meryl here, who is the leader of the Ascendants, and then she gets to know exactly what the Spark Eternal might be. Now, this is all happening while the rest of her friends, the rest of her team, who at this time, it's Sana and Magna, that have pretty much formed a team to try to save Dr. Aphra, and they have their own things going on with Tage. And then, of course, the whole Crimson Dawn storyline, because they have to figure out what is Kira going to do? What is her plans with the Crimson Dawn? And how it's going to affect the galaxy. While dealing with their friend, Dr. Aphra. And, of course, we're going to have some returning enemies here. Or people that were returning enemies. One thing that you're going to see immediately is, of course, the return of the murder droids. Which, to me, have always been one of the best parts about Dr. Aphra. But BD-8 and 000 come back, and it seems like this Spark Eternal can infest them. So it is a story about her and learning about the Ascendants and what it is to be an Ascendant, and her friends trying to bring her back. Now, this does have, like, the reason I mean, obviously, besides the fact that they're trying to sell this as a kind of a standalone omnibus, although I can't imagine this being your first Dr. Aphra omnibus, because this relies heavily on you having read the previous volumes and at least some of the things going on in the Hidden Empire and, of course, the Dark Droids. But in here, you are going to see the return of characters like, I've already mentioned Sana Starros, but Corin Aphra, Data Yao, and Magna Tulvin, Eustacia Oka, Ariel Yu. Just Lucky comes back through here. Kofon Ferris, who will play a bigger part later on in the entire Star Wars universe. And it's like friends from long ago and friends from this current series. So you have the Cy Spurrier and, of course, the Kieran Gillen series. And then you have the Alyssa Wong series. So it seems like Aphra's friends from both sets, oops, hit the camera there, are coming back to try to help her out. Do they succeed? Well, I would hope so in order for the story to continue. But that's what the main, first few issues are about. This book is really split up into 3 different story arcs. So let's continue here with something else that happens, because there is a reunion between Vader and Aphra. We finally get to see a reunion between both of these characters. Something that, to me, has been a long time coming since it was teased a little bit in the second omnibus. But she has this uneasy alliance during this time with the Spark. So it's like making some kind of deal with the Spark so she can be in control of her body for a while also reliving a lot of Meryl's memories. And in this shared body, all of this is happening inside of Dr. Aphra while this reunion with Darth Vader is about to take place. Now, the story does continue, and again, you're going to see characters being reunited and appearances by other characters. So after finding this mysterious Jedi message, Dr. Aphra decides to, in a very Dr. Aphra style, kidnap Luke Skywalker to bring him to the Zasan Temple, where there's this ancient artifact that she needs to go and find. What is it called? It's some kind of bell. But anyway, Aphra needs Luke Skywalker to open up this bell, and it only opens up to those pure of heart. So she doesn't see herself as pure of heart, so she goes and gets a pure Jedi. And that's really what this quick little storyline is. Again, the stories in here are taking place after Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So always keep that in mind when reading these stories. Some people get confused as to when these stories take place, so I always like to remind people when exactly these are supposed to be read. So this is now going to be tying it into the Hidden Empire saga, which we started with, of course, War of the Bounty Hunters, and we ended up getting the Crimson Reign, and now we'll get the Hidden Empire, which, of course, is part of the Dark Droids, and other stories that I don't want to spoil, because there's really not a lot to talk about, especially if there's only 3 stories in here. A lot of reunions and a lot of we're gonna go our separate ways is what ends up happening through here. The Dark Droids is one of my favorite parts about this era of Star Wars comics. It's a lot of fun. It's where basically, yeah, something is infesting all the technology. Could it be the spark that she had? Could she have something to do with it? Maybe. But it is infesting all of technology, not just the droids. It does start off with the droids, so you're going to see a lot of returning characters. And after her and Luke Skywalker, against his will, investigate that ancient and forgotten Jedi temple, now she has to deal with this rescue mission to save somebody from her past. And then, of course, that's when the scourge starts spreading across the galaxy. And that kind of ends this part of Dr. Aphra, because there is a continuing story. I think there was a new series that happened. I'm not sure if it's still ongoing or not. I think the last issue I saw was issue number 10. But let me know in the comments if it's continuing. So yeah, this is wrapping up a lot of loose ends, and I will say, out of any of the Star Wars comics out there, you figured that Dr. Aphra, with her past, this is probably going to be the most lovey-dovey type of story. No. I'm not saying there aren't relationships and people hooking up. I'm just saying love has very little to do with it. Well, no, some of the characters, not all the characters. There's a couple of other surprises, especially if you have been reading the adventures of Dr. Aphra since her first appearance in Darth Vader, that pop up through here. But for the most part, this wraps up this era. And then we get the Star Wars Revelations, which just focuses on this bounty hunter that perhaps is going to go after Dr. Aphra. And then we get the Santa Starros series. Now, this is not written by Alyssa Wong, so I'm glad this isn't Dr. Aphra by Alyssa Wong, but it's just Dr. Aphra, Friends and Enemies. This is drawn by Peta Perez. Ken Lashley actually doing the beautiful covers. And it focuses on this character that, man, she has been a part of the Star Wars universe. It's crazy to think about since Star Wars came back to Marvel. So she got her first appearance in, I think it was a Jason Aaron run, if I'm not mistaken. The Jason Aaron Star Wars issue number 4, I think, or 5. Anyway, doesn't matter. She is here, and she is, after the events of everything that's happened in Dr. Aphra, she ends up returning back to her home, to her grandmother's house, Thea. It's part of the Hosnian Prime. And she is here, and she ends up reuniting with a lot of family members. Like, she's reuniting with her cousins and her auntie. And one particular cousin, Arisha, is pregnant, and she is due with twins. However, she's not the best judge of character, because apparently she is, she's with this Imperial officer. His name, what is that guy's name? Sarassus. And she thought she could fix him. That might have actually been a quote from here. I love that mentality. I can fix him. No. Unfortunately, Sarassus ends up coming with his troops to abduct Santa's cousin Arisha. So he's there to collect a few of the family heirlooms and take his girl and his twins with her. So this becomes a rescue mission. So now the Starros legacy data that connects the plan perhaps to build a certain star of death ties it into not only just this, but to Dr. Aphra, but also the Solo, the movie. What was it? Solo, a Star Wars story. That's what it was called. Then that's what this 5-issue miniseries is about. Now, let's look at the extras, because that is pretty much what the book is. You saw that the standard covers are on the book right before the chapters. They do give you a little recap as to what's going on in the rest of the universe, by the way. I just meant, like, I'm so used to the scroll up of what's happened in Star Wars recently. But here are the variant covers, and you do have the credits down here and where they originated from. That is an awesome Jerry Ordway piece. Salvador La Roca, that's where that came from, except it's white here. The Dark Droid, Annie Wu, who did the front piece there. Ben Harvey, that's awesome. And then Sarah Pichelli, Hernanda Sousa. Few Peach Momoko pieces here too. And Betsy Cola, who does the direct market cover. Alright, let's look at the binding. 472 pages. It is sewn binding. And this one is printed at the Mega Print. So it's got some thick, glossy paper stock. Don't get me wrong, there's still just a little bit of bleed through happening. But this is the way that it lays over. Actually, let's look. There is a double page spread. Aha, here we go. Yeah, right here. There's really no gutter loss happening. But this kind of gives you an idea as to how it lays over and the bleed through. And that, as they say, is that. If you're interested in purchasing this omnibus, don't forget to check out our sponsors. BD Cosmos, the Canadian leader in graphic novels. They have a physical storefront in Montreal, Quebec, and their website, bdcosmos.com, offers 25% off your order of over $99 or more, and free shipping everywhere in Canada for every order of $250 or more.
Their shipping care is exceptional. Your books will stay cozy through the rough Canadian weather and arrive to you in near mint condition.
After checkout, let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way, and you'll be added to the monthly $25 gift card raffle. Entries are valid for new and returning customers.
Don't be afraid to call or email them. Ask them questions. Their staff is always happy to help guide you towards the right purchase. Visit their website, bdcosmos.com, for more. BD Cosmos, with rewards and raffles taking care of customers in Canada. Eh?
CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget, the CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content, the page count, and build of this omnibus. In the comments down below, let me know if you've read this era of Dr. Aphra, if you enjoy her character, if you're picking up the most recent series. I think it might have wrapped up with issue number 10. Please let me know in the comments down below. But that is it, everybody. Thank you for watching. Smash that like button on the way out. Until the next time, much love.